Alright, hey guys, welcome to another one of my rare slash collectible videos. We're gonna do a few things today. First of all, kind of found a way to make it a bit more stable in front of the bookcase. And I usually use this to hold up my printer. But yeah, I'm still not sure if you guys prefer, me talking in front of my bookcase or me talking in front of my TV. So yeah, let me know about that. I'm not sure from the last video, but basically instead of commenting, because I know most people don't really like commenting too much, we'll use the like and dislike system as a voting system to pretty much tell me, hey, I like the bookcase, in which case you dislike this video, or hey, I like the TV, in which case you'd like the video. And based on that, I'll pretty much stick to one format for the most part, unless you guys want a little throwback to the bookcase or something. But yeah, I mean, personally with the bookcase, I kind of like it, only because gives a little more homemade feel. It feels a little more personal to me. But I also do prefer the TV version because I feel like it's more fun for you guys. And what do you call it? And it looks a little more clean, And so yeah, that's that. And as for me, update about me. Past week since Monday, actually, I've been pretty sick. I guess going out with my friends was not the best idea because I got sick on the second week of school, so I had to miss out on a few classes and whatnot. But with the help of some NyQuil, some vitamin C, ton of water, and also I'm Korean, and so my mom made me this this grinded up, dried up shrimp, and you put that in the back of your throat. Kind of use it like salt, and then helps with sore throats. Works pretty well. So yeah, that's about me, but I'm pretty much fully recovered and ready to make another video. And as for the games I've been playing recently, been playing a lot of Ni no Kuni when I was sick. It's actually a really great game, and personally I love Miyazaki films like Spirited Away, Castle something, I forgot, and a bunch of others. I've watched it, throughout my childhood and throughout my adult life. And yeah, but with this game, it's basically you pretty much get to play a game, or you feel like you're watching a Miyazaki film with great gameplay added, and it's kind of like Pokemon a bit, and it's like an RPG for the most of it, and it's a great game. So if you guys don't have this game, if you guys haven't played it, I definitely recommend it. Personally, I tear up a little bit, when there's very emotional scenes, and this game made me do that. When his mom passed away and everything. It's in the beginning of the game, so it's not really a spoiler. Yeah, I've gotten a little bit of that tear, and I was like, oh man, but yeah, it's a great game, and I got one great game that I want to share probably at the end of my video, and I'll do that. But yeah, so basically with this video, I'm gonna sit in front of my TV again, and let me know whether you like that or not by liking or disliking the video. And then based on whether the likes or dislikes outweigh each other, I'll stick to one format for the most part. Alright, and now I'll take you guys in front of the TV. Set this up real quick. Nice. Alright, turn the volume off. Mute. Nice. Okay. Alright, so as always, disclaimer, in the end, all PS3 rare slash collectible videos is speculation, and it's our opinions or my opinion on what games might be valuable or collectible or are uncommon right now, or even rare right now, and stuff like that. So you might agree with some of my opinions, you might disagree, and that's perfectly fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Alright, and so the first game I want to share is the Orange Box. And I actually picked this up back home in the Valley. I forgot, for around $5. So I got an amazing deal on this. But it's a great game. It includes Half-Life 2, it includes Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and it includes Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And it also includes Portal and it includes Team Fortress, so it's a huge package for anybody basically. And at least at the time, for $60, this was probably like the best deal you could get on games in general, just because it includes, you know, 5 extremely popular games. And I'll just go one by one with these. Half-Life 2 is, I guess, the highlight of this package, and it's an amazing game, at least from what I know. It makes use of Valve's gravity gun, and it's simple in a way, but the story, the characters, everything is just really well made. It's one of those games that people look back to kind of maybe model their game after. So it's a really great game. And as for Team Fortress 2, I have just a little bit of experience. I've seen kids who come over to my house play it. You know, like in like the little church meetings my mom has, and kids come over, I have to take care of them, and I see them, or at least back then I used to do that in high school. And then yeah, I always saw them play Team Fortress 2, and I played a little bit, and it's one of those really fun like shooters that aren't really too complicated, but just mainly just fun. And Portal, at least the original Portal, was like an amazing game, just because you know, puzzle-based games kind of fell out of favor for a bit, and Portal kind of brought that back. And it's like just difficult enough and just easy enough, and it's a good balance of things. So yeah, definitely, if you can find this game for right now, currently, at least on Price Chart, and so that's including eBay and Amazon and GameStop. It runs for around $25 complete, which means with the manual and everything. But if you can find it for, I would say, well, if you're a huge fan of like Half-Life 2 and like all these games, then it's even worth paying the full price. But I'm sure a lot of collectors, we don't like paying full price. So if you can find this game for, I would say, 15 or less, then I definitely pick it up. And if you want to find it for around 25 or around 30, actually, you can find it at a GameStop. Just a bit of a tangent, but I recently checked out this one GameStop that's like 3 miles from my place. So it's not my closest GameStop, but it's been around like 2 months. So I went back, and they actually had a good chunk of fairly, you know, collectible / rare games. And they had 2 copies of this, 1 copy of Ghostbusters, which is $25 at GameStop. So I'd pick it up if you find it at GameStop for that much. And a few other games, but yeah, like, it was cool how they got a couple games that like caught my eye. And yeah, so if you can find this game for around 15 or less, or even 20 or less, I definitely pick it up, because it includes 5 different games, so you get a lot of gaming in one package. And once again, you know, this is the old PS3 game. You can tell by this label here, PlayStation embossed on top right there. Yep. And this red label right here, which is the easiest telltale sign. Alright, so moving on. Next game, this is Overlord. I was actually looking for this original Overlord for quite a while. I would say around like 2-3 months, or around a month, I'm not sure. But yeah, I originally, the first Overlord game I found was Overlord 2. And being a completionist, I wanted the first one, and I actually found it at my at a GameStop around like 7 miles from my place, and the case was super beat up when I found it. Like, it was cracked here. Cover art, as you can see, is a little bit, you can't really see that. Yeah, but it's a little bit like bended, but overall it's in pretty good shape, and include the manual. And I really haven't seen Overlord in too many places. Oh, now that I see, I think it includes a map too. Oh yeah, so you get this little map as well. Super cool. I always love when games include like posters, maps, and unique things like that. But yeah, in terms of Overlord as a game, you pretty much are the Overlord, and you control your minions. You know, like, you do your little finger thing, and your minions go out, and you can fight yourself. Yeah, I guess that's right. And it includes like action RPG elements and some real-time strategy. Not too much, but yeah, it's a cool game. You know, you're trying to rule the world basically, and you have a mistress who works at your palace, and what does she do? Oh yeah, she decorates your halls, makes it all look really nice. Then you have this like main minion who like kind of tells you what to do and like what path you should be trekking, and you get to control all these little minions who I believe are in like different classes, like they have different abilities. And yeah, like you pillage, you're basically the bad guy, and you pillage all these villages, and you do your thing, and you collect loot and everything. And from what I hear, it's overall a pretty cool game, and for some people it reminds them of like Fable, at least some parts of it. And yeah, like it seems like a really cool game, man. I believe it was released on the PC, and on the PC, I think you can get the complete package with Overlord, Overlord 2, and I think one other thing, not sure. But yeah, as for the price, this game runs for around 10 bucks complete online, and if you find it in GameStop, I definitely pick it up at GameStop, because it runs for $5 at GameStop, and for $5, I think it's worth it. And I feel like the Overlord games will be at least collectible like down the line, and at least for an old PS3 game, if it's still 10 bucks, like people still want it. So yeah, definitely pick it up if you find it at a GameStop. I was definitely happy I found mine, and yeah, that's that. All right, next game. This is Prince of Persia. It's like a little bit uncommon. Like it's hard to find, especially in like good condition. Like this case is a little beat up, but the original case I got for it was in like mint condition. I don't know if you guys remember from my first video, but it's where I got the Folklore, and I gave Folklore that case. But yeah, it's a bit uncommon, and I think it's only $1 or $2, so really cheap, and you could get it for around online like 5 to 6 shipped. And this is pretty cool. This is not the trailer for it, it's an ad, but what do you call it? It's pretty much a reboot of the entire Prince of Persia series. So the Prince of Persia series was pretty huge for the PS2. Like personally, as a kid, when I saw it, it didn't really appeal to me, so I didn't pick it up. But I heard it's an amazing trilogy, especially for the people who liked it. And so yeah, it being so successful, Ubisoft, wanted to release something, but the trilogy just ended so perfectly that it was hard to, like go off of that. So they pretty much did a reboot with the new prince, and relatively similar storyline. Like he's still a little cocky from what I hear, but yeah, like visually this is like honestly one of the prettier games for the PS3, and I believe it was released 2008, so fairly early in the life cycle. And sorry about that, but yeah, like you basically play as this prince, and there's this girl, I forget her name, but she pretty much helps you go through things. And from what I hear, the story's just, it's just whatever. But like graphically, it's amazing. And the only real problem that I heard that people have with this game is that what do you call it? It's kind of too easy, because the girl, she pretty much assists you in everything. Like when you're doing the jump and you fail it, like she'll pick you up and put you back where you were before, and you just get to do it again. And same thing with like the bosses or any enemy you fight. If you die to them, then she'll revive you, and the enemy also gets full health. But like, yeah, that's like the main gripe people had with it, is that it's a little bit too easy. And from what I hear, the controls are really simple for this game. Like, you get to climb around things, and you get to use your like claw to like catch onto the wall and just move across it. And it has like some quick time scenes. And yeah, sorry it's a little blurry on here. I think my internet's being funky, but yeah, definitely if you find this at a GameStop, I believe it's only $1 or $2, and I feel like it'll at least be collectible. And it's like a reboot, kind of like the Ratchet and Clank reboot for PS4, and there's a few other games that got reboots, but from what I hear, it's overall a great reboot. And you should pick it up if you find it at a GameStop. Alright, and the next game, this is Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2nd. I actually picked this up on eBay a while back. I paid pretty much full price, like 18 bucks, but I really wanted a rhythm-based, like DDR like kind of game, and or like something like Patapon where there's some sort of rhythm something going on. And this was like my best bet for it. And I actually have a history with this. So I originally picked it up for 18, and when I went back home not too long ago, I got a sealed copy of this for 9 bucks. But originally he advertised it as like Project Diva F, so the first one. So I was like, holy crap, for the sealed version of Project Diva F, for pretty much I was gonna pick that up along with 4 other games for $45. So I was so ecstatic. But when I met up with the guy, it was actually a sealed copy of this, and I ended up selling it. But yeah, it's a little bit of like I wish it was the first one. And definitely the first one's a lot more rare, and it's a lot more expensive. It's around I believe 45. But from what I hear, this is overall a great sequel. The only somewhat of an issue that some people have, which is totally your opinion, is pretty much that they like the music in the first one more than the second one, but that's all personal taste. But from what I hear, it's actually a great sequel, and I believe you can also play it on the Vita, and then that transfers over. And also, things you got from the first Project Diva game also transfers over too. And overall, I think it's a very well-made game, and it's probably the best rhythm-based game for PS3. I guess if you don't like animated style character stuff and it's a little weird to you, then you might not enjoy it. But if it seems a little appealing, I definitely think you'd enjoy it. And it can get very, very challenging from what I hear. You have to use the directional analog and everything, but I'd start at easy mode. And what's also really cool is you can edit the individual tracks, or at least something like that, where you can kind of mimic the way she moves her mouth to the music, and you can also change the angles and set it up that way. So there's a lot of customization that's, I think, super cool when games include that. So yeah, this is Project Diva F, and if you can find it for 13 or less, I definitely pick it up. And even at 18, I think it's definitely going to be a game that will at least somewhat hold its value. And what's interesting is it was published by Sega, and I told you guys with Sega, they failed their last 2 consoles, which drove them quite under the market, and then they pretty much just focused solely on games to rebuild back up. And yeah, a lot of Sega games tend to have this collectability to them. So if you find this game, and if you like rhythm-based, DDR-like games, I definitely pick it up. And I believe you can play as 6 characters or so, as you can see. And there's a couple dudes and a couple girls in there, and that's that. And also there's this kind of somewhat weird mode, but some people enjoy it. I don't know if I'd enjoy it, but it's kind of like this dating thing where you don't have to do it. It's completely optional, but you basically get to sit with Miku or Hatsune or whatever her name is, and then you give her I don't know, snacks and stuff like that to get her like you more. And so there's that too. So it's a very interesting game, and it seems very fun, and I haven't gotten a chance to play it, but it's definitely on my list. Currently have a huge backlog, so it's gonna take a while. But yeah, great game, and I definitely pick it up if you can find it for 15 or even less. All right, and for the next one, this is Enemy Territory Quake Wars. This is actually a super cheap game to find. You can find it for $1 at GameStop, and I believe it's worth around $5 online, more or less. And thing about this game is it's really cool because it's made by ID, who made the original Quake and who made the original Doom. And those games are huge in the first-person shooter genre, probably the 2 games that really defined the genre. And Quake, at least the original Quake, was what do you call it? Yeah, it was the first 3D first-person shooter, and it did it extremely well. And there's still people who play it to this day, so I think that should show a little bit of how influential and good Quake was. And I don't know if you guys like Joe Rogan, but I love Joe Rogan. I love the thoughts he has. I know some people don't agree with his opinions. Me too. But yeah, there's a lot of things I resonate with him at, and he covers anything from UFC to psychedelics, if you guys are into that. And he has a podcast where he talks to all sorts of people, and it's super cool. But I believe, it's a funny way to put it, he's with the money I got, I could have either spent it on blowing hookers, or I could spend it on getting a $10,000 a month landline to play Quake without lag. So I think that should show that that game was pretty damn good if someone's willing to do that. But yeah, as for this game, I hear that in terms of the user rating, it's really not that great, but it's a shooter, and there's a bot shooter, and I heard the AIs are decent at times, and at least for the PC it's really great, but I'm not so sure on the console version. But yeah, you get to control like different tanks. You get to play as different I guess classes, like an alien class, a straight up just soldier class, and stuff like that. So if you guys like that kind of old-fashioned shooter, this is your game. And it's only $1, and it's fairly uncommon actually. Like, this is the only copy I've personally seen for $1 at GameStop. So definitely pick it up if you see it at GameStop. All right, and next one. This game is well, that's Joe Rogan talking about Quake. But yeah, this game is Rainbow Six Vegas. This is a commercial right now, but I originally heard that this game was supposed to actually be a launch title for the PS3, but due to various reasons, it got delayed. And from what I know, they first released the Xbox 360 and the PC version, so yeah, but the cool thing about the PS3 version, which is kind of nice about from their part, is they added a bunch of multiplayer maps. I believe around 20 or so quite a bit. And at least in 2007, this game was probably the best game released that year for a shooter. And as you can see, the graphics are actually really nice. It takes place in Vegas, and I believe there's some cover-based shooting elements. And according to at least this IGN reviewer, he says what do you call it? The cover-based is some of the best that he's personally experienced. So if you like cover-based shooting, this seems like your game. And it's also super cool because I saw some scenes where you pretty much get to climb down like a building, and like you get to even be reversed, and you're on the outside of the building trying to, you know, find like a terrorist to shoot at, and it's really cool. And it being a Tom Clancy game, I heard there's a bit of a plot twist, so look out for that as well. Alright, and the next game, this game is Rayman Legends. My experience with Rayman was in the Game Boy days. Oh man, yeah, I had it on my like little Game Boy Advance SP, and then I used to play that quite a bit, and I remember feeling like the adrenaline rush of like having to run away from this like tide that's chasing you or whatever that's chasing you. And it's a super fun game, man. This game is actually fairly amazing. If you love Rayman, like, you'll definitely love this game, man. I hear that it's actually an improvement from Rayman Origins, and I played it with my girlfriend and with one of my friends as well, and he's not into gaming, but at first he thought it was a game for 3-year-olds, but the more we started playing it, like, he really enjoyed it too. And yeah, it gets your adrenaline pumping because, you know, things chase after you. Sorry about that. Yeah, things chase after you. It's pretty much a platformer where you jump around and do things. But yeah, I don't think it includes like an actual manual. It just includes like this little slip paper, but correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I love this game because it's probably the best, in my opinion, the best like couch co-op game there is. Mainly because even if you play multiplayer like with your friend right next to you, it doesn't do split screen. It sticks with one, and it does a pretty damn good job with that. Like, you'd think, you know, it'd be hard to do that, but yeah, they did a really great job with that. And you get to choose from, you know, the original Rayman to like this girl right here, to like some frogs, to like this little other dude, and yeah, and then you get to fight these bosses, and it's just like every level just builds on itself, and it just gets better and better and more exciting. So if you find this game, I don't think it's too rare. It's not at all, I think. You can find it at a decent chunk of game stores that you go to, but it's held its value fairly well. At least in GameStop, it's close to 20 bucks. Online, it runs around like 12, 13 bucks. So if you can find it for anything less than that, I definitely pick up Rayman. Like, it's one of my favorite childhood games, and this version is honestly like really amazing. Like, I was surprised by it. Alright, and so that about completes this video. I decided to do less games but more detail, but I wanted to share just like one or two more things. I recently picked up the Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 HD remaster. There's a PS4 version. I don't know how rare or collectible it'll be, but the reason why I picked it up for $13, which is what, you know, this game, not limited edition version, runs for. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Then I'll pick up this version. So it's honestly really cool. It's like a book almost, the case. And let's see, you know, it's like an art, and it shows all the art and stuff, and it's really nice. And on top of that, it includes the disc and everything. So it's a cool package, and it's fairly cheap. So if you want like a limited edition for a Final Fantasy game, this is a pretty good choice. And the last thing I want to share is Monster Hunter Freedom 2. Obviously, this is not a PS3 game, but this is probably my favorite PSP game of all time. Like, as a kid, I straight up had 3 binders full of information on like how to combine the items, like what monsters, like graphics showing like, you know, with different colors showing, you know, what areas of the monster are weaker and stronger. And I remember watching countless YouTube videos on like how to beat the original Tigrix? I forgot his name, but yeah. And like, aside from this boss, there's bosses that are pretty much near impossible to kill alone. And I remember linking up with my friend and playing, you know, this game and whatnot. And honestly, at the time, this game was like mind-blowing because yeah, I came from the Game Boy and I transitioned to this, and I was just like, holy crap, I didn't know a handheld system could be this great. But yeah, I definitely pick it up if you're into Monster Hunter. It's my favorite one. And yeah, that's that. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and as I said in the beginning, please like or dislike this video, depending on whether, like it if you like this format, and dislike it if you like the old format. And once again, thank you for watching, and hope you guys have a wonderful day.